Here comes game number 1 of TSHFT Vancouver. This is against Todd Aston and his Warriors of Chaos. It's a dawn attack scenario that's modified a little bit. Instead of rolling for which unit deploys in which quarter, you just write down as per hidden deployment which units you want to go in each quarter. And then we take turns placing the unit in those quarters. So, I don't know, a lot more balanced in my opinion. He's got some Marauder horses, he's got a War Altar, he's got a big block of Khorne warriors with halberds, he's got a huge Juggernaut unit with 4 Juggernauts, or Skull Crushers, and 3 characters on Juggernauts, so that's pretty beefy. He's got no magic in this list, it's all Khorne. He's got a Hell Cannon and a Chimera off to the left, which is represented by the Carmine Dragon. And here's my stuff. Got knights and demigryph knights and guns and archers with a wizard and more knights and a steam tank and more guns and engineers and more knights. Scary. So luckily I managed to get the demigryphs with the flaming banner onto the left side to take out that chimera later in the game, hopefully. I really need to shoot the crap out of that juggernaut bus before it owns my face. On to turn 1. So unfortunately I didn't get turn 1. That means the Skull Crushers get a chance to run at me first. He moves up his army to the left, or his left, my right, like this. His War Altar is getting a little bit out of position, I think, for his characters. He wants to buff his Juggernaut characters. That's the reason why he held them back like this for a turn, I believe. But he was actually out of range during the magic phase. His Chimera flies over to the side like this. Flap, flap, flaps his albatross wings. Oh, I hope someone knows that reference. And his Hell Cannon decides to misfire, but rolls a 6 and counts it as a hit. Strength 10, doing enough wounds to take out a cannon. And then he can't fire for the rest of the turn. And by rest of the turn, I mean rest of the game. So my first turn, I kind of harass the Marauders a bit with the Knights. I move up my unit of demigryphs, as you can see. Steam Tank misfires. I might have even taken a wound. I can't remember. And I'm importantly moving up my Knights like this to bait the frenzied Skull Crushers. I find this is the easiest way to deal with them. It's just make them charge you and make them overrun in a direction that's away from the rest of your shit. And demigryphs move up a bit. I don't know what he's planning with this Chimera, but it's making me nervous. In the magic phase, I managed to take out the Marauders with a Thunderbolt. I didn't get Harmonic Convergence again. I haven't gotten very lucky with that so far. Getting Harmonic Convergence, that is. I Wind Blast this thing back, just to be farther away from his characters. I don't know if it's going to matter. And after shooting, I try and snipe his Juggernaut BSB, but I overshoot it a bit and nail the Juggernaut behind him instead. So his turn 2 of running at me. Well, he does the smart thing and charges one of the characters out of his Juggernaut bus and goes into my Knights. I hold, because I don't want him going anywhere else. Other than that, he just shoves his stuff farther down my throat. Juggernauts are getting oh so close, but they're now in short range of the Hellblasters, so that's kind of nice. He moves his Chimera here, and I think he kind of he didn't give the demigryphs enough credit to what they can do, because the demigryphs can just see him. After combat, he slays the Knights. Actually, I think he only killed 2 or 1, but the combat res was enough to make me run. Alright, Empire turn 2, it's time to do some dirty, dirty shooting. Demigryphs charge first. I actually did a lot of charging this game, surprisingly. Demigryphs charged that Chimera, we're going to take it out no problem. That's the plan anyway. Steam Tank manages to get into his character here. It's going to probably mow him over. And I don't know about this one. I charge the demigryphs into the flank of his War Altar. In hindsight, I don't think this was a good idea. Regular movement, the Knights move up to just be annoying. Get around his lines. And my Knight bus moves up slightly just so he can't charge the guns and get extra points for that. He's got to charge the expensive block of characters with my dude with Van Horseman Speculum. In the magic phase, I get off a Ice Shard Blizzard onto the Jugs, which is kind of nice, even though they're not going to run, so they're -1 to hit, which is key. After shooting, I take out most of the unit. I take out his BSB, but he's got his one character left with a badass weapon on 1 or 2 wounds, and a Juggernaut on 2 wounds. The Demigryphs take out the Chimera and reform like that, and spoiler from the last picture, yeah, the Steam Tank ends up grinding the Skull Crusher into dust. He's a Steam Tank Crusher. Oh, that was really bad. Okay, so we kill the altar over here and end up hitting the flank of these warriors, which is really bad for the Demigryphs. Alright, in Warriors turn 3, it's time to choppy. The Jugs go into my night block. I hope the Van Horseman Speculum is going to make its points worth here. Hell Cannon's just kind of moving up. It's really a useless tit right now. And we go straight into combat because there's no magic or shooting to be said. I challenge, or he challenges me with my Arch Lector, and he slays me. Unfortunately, even with the Speculum, which is not enough to stand up to a Chaos Lord. Over here, I only lose 1, and I kill a few of him. I actually win, but he sticks it out with Steadfast. In my turn 3, Steam Tank does what's once bitten move here and starts bouncing between stuff down the middle of the line. So I hit this Skull Crusher unit on the side. Over here, the knights continue to move around and, I don't know, look pretty. And these Demigryphs, I decided to move up. I was debating on this, whether to do this or not, but I decided to do it just because I think my cannons are going to take out the Hell Cannon. And my cannons do take out the Hell Cannon. My one cannon actually gets quite lucky and one-shots it. Other than that, I had 2 Hell Blasters to go at it too, which can't shoot anything else anyway. So, in combat, he kills another one, my champion, that I accepted a challenge with, and my Steam Tank does enough to kill the other guy in the unit, and I think do 1 more wound to the Chaos Lord. After combat here, he wipes out the Demigryphs and overruns slightly. And of course, by overrun, I mean pursues me, because I fled. So in his turn 4, he starts moving towards one of the hills in my deployment zone, because he wants to do a land claim. It was one of the objectives in our game here. Yeah, and after combat, my knights break. And I think he does a couple more wounds to my Steam Tank too. He's got that really sweet sword that is no armor saves and does D3 wounds. So, in my turn, in the movement phase, do some grinds, and I kill the Chaos Lord, which is very nice. And here's a shot of just my whole army encroaching on his 1 unit left, trying to get line of sight. He's actually going to end up hiding behind the hill, and in my turn 5 of shooting, I'm not going to be able to see him, so I just move some more. Basically, his plan is to jump on the hill in his last turn, and then hopefully I won't kill him with all my shooting. So my Steam Tank moves up, and this is just a picture of him measuring whether he wants to go for the Steam Tank or not. He actually should, because in my last turn I end up misfiring and taking another 2 wounds or something, and being down to 4, so at that point he thought maybe he should have gone for it and killed the Steam Tank, but it wouldn't really have mattered. At least this way he got some tournament points. So this is what his unit looks like at the end of his turn, and the next picture is what it looks like after I foolishly Ice Shard Blizzard, even though he's immune to Psych. Wasn't really thinking. I'm like, ha! Your leadership's -1. You're gonna run. Well, no you're not. Anyways, thanks for watching.